life, man. Like
What
you
you mean
heard
talking
K,
about life?
you
What
heard
life?
KD, man. He said as a team, it was moments that they had where they was
Let's
locked
get
in.
let
Like
bro. We need to get this out of the way right
Bruh,
now, bro,
no, bro.
because
This shit is
all this
unacceptable.
interview is gonna do. I knew it was gonna piss Nets fans off. No Nets fan got no business watching this shit, bro, because all it's gonna do is just
Bruh.
piss niggas off.
Every Nets fans is watching this. It sure is.
For
Every
what,
Nets
bro? I
fan.
don't want to watch a FIB fest between these two niggas, man. Fuck out of here. These are like, bro, everything that's gonna
Bruh,
come
I
out their
gave him
mouth
the
is fibs,
benefit of
bro.
the
That's why you
doubt.
kept pausing it every 2 seconds, bro, getting pissed off.
I thought
Now
they
you
was
know
gonna
how I
give.
feel.
I thought they was gonna
Bruh,
give some answers to the hard hitting questions. You
They
know what I
wasn't
mean?
gonna give
hold
them
on,
answers
no,
for the
no,
hard
no,
hitting
hold on.
questions. They was
Listen,
gonna
when it
fib
came,
their
no,
way out, because
no,
it's a fib
part one,
session.
no, that's what they did. Part one, they left a whole cliffhanger. Son, Brooklyn. So I waited for part two. Then part two come out. They only talk about it. I would have gave this. I thought that we deserved 40 minutes. I thought the whole entire show should have been about how they should have did this, how they should have did that, how they could you KD, why you couldn't say, yo, why you didn't take out Joe Harris? He was trash. He threw Dorian Finney-Smith under the bus. Why you can't say that shit
Yo,
about Joe
that
Harris?
shit is hilarious that they teammates now, right?
Yep.
Right.
That shit
Yeah.
is hilarious. That shit gonna be funny the
Them
first day in the
niggas is
locker
teammates
room.
again. Yep.
First
And he
day in
gonna
the
have to
locker
swing him the
room.
ball. He gonna have to
Right,
swing
first
him the
day in the
ball.
locker
Now
room. He
you
gonna
gonna
be,
have to swing a nigga the ball because they paid him 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
50 million. Now look at you, dummy.
Mm-hmm.
and the funny shit is, I know they recorded this before they was ever teammates. You know what I mean? So he ain't
Yep.
Yeah.
expect for that. He said because Dorian Finney-Smith was on LeBron team at that time. So he
Yep.
like, yeah, you got to swing the ball. You need to be taking a shot, not a nigga like Dorian Finney-Smith, and
Mm-hmm.
now he
Right,
on your
like
team.
And
right.
now
But
he
see,
back
that's what
on
I'm
your
saying.
team.
So like now it's gonna wait. Like, come on, I want to hear that bullshit about how it's gonna be some heroic shit, and then they gonna be buddies if he knocked down a three. Man, fuck all that. Like all I'm saying is at the end of the day, bro, they ain't mentioned how Joe Harris played bad and he should have got benched. How Cam Thomas ain't get no minutes and he got minutes. How all of these different scenarios on how things could have been different. You got Steve Nash throwing Sean Marks under the bus, allegedly saying that he didn't get to coach the way he wanted to coach. Why not, Steve Nash? At least, if you're not going to tell us, at least say what you wanted to do. If this is a podcast, you could at least say, this is what I wanted to do. When I was in Phoenix, this is how I was doing it. Whoop de whoop. Yada yada yada. You ain't say none of that shit. You was just like, I ain't get to coach the way I wanted to coach, but it was a success. Quotation marks. What the fuck is that? Like,
My
yo,
nigga.
bro, like, no, bro, this shit was underwhelming, and I frown upon it. I
I wanna
scoff
go
at this.
I wanna go back to something that Jay was saying, bro, because not like the chat GPT shit, having that shit coach the team, bro. I think that shit is 100,000% true. They thought they could just have this shit on autopilot and let it go. I strongly believe that especially when we got Harden, bro. Like we're like the nigga, even though the nigga was out of shape and then he got back in shape like in like 2 weeks, he took off a fat suit and started putting up 20-point triple doubles and 10 assist games, bro. We honestly thought like everybody during that time thought we could just have this shit on autopilot, and I did too. Like the way we was murdering teams, bro. Like
Bro,
if you
no,
seen the
no,
way that
I
offense
didn't,
was.
I never know. Hell
If
no,
you
I
seen the way that
never,
offense looked, my nigga, with them three niggas,
bro,
bro, niggas thought that shit was on auto fucking pilot. Nothing
bro,
could
no.
stop them three niggas.
No, first and foremost, we talking about 16 games out of 4 seasons. I'm not
Don't
jacking
matter.
that. No, yes, it fucking do matter.
No, it
If
don't.
4, 6, bro, I'm not arguing with you, bro.
Bro,
I'm gonna disagree with
it
you.
do matter
16 games
because
out of four game,
last night
four
we
It,
was
it,
talking
it
seasons
do
about
matter.
matter because
Carmelo.
of the result,
Look,
bro.
look,
No,
look.
That's
Last
why
night
it
we was talking
matters.
about
bro.
Carmelo.
But
Y'all
I'm
said
talking about
Carmelo
at
was
the
on the Knicks.
No,
time. That's what
go
I'm
ahead,
talking
Jay. Go
about.
ahead, Jay. Bro,
Y'all said
yes, it did
Carmelo was
matter
on the
then.
Knicks for 7 seasons, and he ain't get no shit, and they still be praising him. KD was only on the team for 4 seasons, and on top of that, one of the seasons he didn't even play.
That's a
True.
fact.
What I'm
So I,
saying is, it's a difference from having players actually play basketball together, or and on paper. They were on paper more than they play basketball together. That's all.
listen, y'all
And one of the
basically.
seasons was a half a season. It wasn't even a whole
It
season.
wasn't even a whole season, but basically y'all making my point. What I'm
Two and
trying
a
to
half
tell you,
seasons.
Y'all making my point. Basically, what I'm trying to tell y'all, everybody in that front office, everybody on that coaching staff, everybody that was involved in hiring that coaching staff with Steve Nash and all them niggas, thought that they can have that shit on autopilot. That's what they
They was
thought. They
wrong
thought
for
it in
that.
their mind. Of course, they was
They was
wrong for that.
wrong for
We found out all these years
No,
later
but
that they
it's
was wrong
fixed
for
No,
that.
now,
nigga, we
bro.
knew then.
The-
We knew, bro. I'm not saying we found it out all those years after. Nigga, I told them they was wrong for getting Harden. I told them they was wrong. This how I'm vlogging before you met me. I'm vlogging. They wrong for getting Harden. I'm vlogging. They wrong for breaking up the core. I'm vlogging. They wrong for giving Jordan minutes over Jared Allen. What the fuck is he? And
Yo,
and on top of that, like, bro,
I don't.
what I'm trying to more. Hold on, and I say this last part. The Me watching a game, learning how Karis LeVert could be a facilitator. Sometimes he not really a big scorer, but he kind of like do it all. You know what I'm saying? And then Spencer Dinwiddie, he could like on some ISO shit. You couldn't stay in front of him, bro. Like he was just he was mean, bro. He was mean. And what I'm saying that to say, Kenny Atkinson orchestrated a lot of that. And they just took that away. Like Nash could do what Kenny Atkinson could do. I vlogged against it then because when I went and did my research, I found out how he got the job. This nigga was like he was helping KD in practice. Like what? That's it.
Mhm.
That's the only thing you had on your resume, bro. I'm done.
Yo,
Listen. All I'm gonna
hold on,
say is
wait.
this. All I'm gonna say is this, bro. Like in the case of Cam Thomas, just going back to his rookie year, and I'm looking at game after game after game, bro. Like I'm looking at the month of fucking February. We was really set. Like Cam Thomas was set up to fail from the beginning. He was, bro. Like I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, where the fuck is all of these losses coming from, bro? Like, and this nigga was putting up 30, 20, 27, 22, 21, 20, 25. I'm like, what the hell was going on at this time, bro? Like during
Bro,
this 21-22 season, bro. Like I'm
they had
confused
Bro, they had no
because
reason. They had no reason for the DNPs for Cam Thomas. Cam
no,
Thomas ain't do
I'm
nothing
not
for no
talking about the
DNP.
DMPs. I'm talking about the first season his actual rookie season. He was getting minutes. He was getting a stretch of minutes, bro, from January to February in his rookie year, bro. Like, and I'm looking at these lineups. He was set up to fail from the beginning. He really was, bro. Like we really, bro. Like it's nobody in that front office gave a damn. Nobody, bro.
But
Like we're
that's what
putting
I'm
it,
Bro,
putting
trying.
it.
That's what I'm
I
trying
don't,
to tell
what
y'all
up?
about the Chat
I
GPT.
don't know
Y'all ain't
about
never
none of
see the
that.
movie Moneyball before, the baseball movie.
Yeah, I seen that movie, the baseball movie. Well, I think
But
they was coaching the Oakland A's or some shit.
yes, now
Yeah,
when I say Chat GPT coaching the team, I don't really mean Chat GPT. I mean that they got
they
dudes
got a
that's
machine.
doing that. That's just going through strictly analytics and playing strictly by analytics. And Cam Thomas, the analytics don't show you what you see when you watch him play. Now I mean they
Facts.
doing shit
Right,
straight off the box score plus minus, straight off of how many threes other teams are shooting that are winning.
right.
All of those
But
algorithm type shits, and that's what they're using to coach the team. And they're going to the coaches and telling them this is the type of shit that we want to play and we want to do. Can you play, build a team within this type of system? Because that's what they're just looking at whatever the leading NBA trends are and trying to make everything on the team the leading NBA trend.
yo, Jay, that's not a GM job, nigga. I looked at what a GM supposed to do. That ain't his job, bruh. You supposed to handle the free agent contracts. I'm being serious. This is their real job. He's the GM supposed to handle the contracts, and that's the main part of their job. They talk about the scouting and this and that, but that's more
So
than
what does the
GM.
governor
That was
do?
more than
Because
general.
remember, he's that too. What does the governor of a
Bro,
team do?
that's
Ain't he the
we
president of
gotta
basketball
that's
operations? That shit. Yeah,
Well,
bruh.
I know
Listen,
he's the governor of the team and he's a GM. So
president of basketball operations. Yeah.
I mean, he governed it. He even if he governs it, my thing is he doesn't. Sean Marks himself have any head coach experience. For Steve Nash to come out his face and say they stopped me from coaching the way I want, and KD second that, and say, yeah, you didn't get to implement the Steve Nash that we know. Why not? What did Sean Mark say to you for you not to coach the
I'm
way you
telling
want
you
to
what he
coach?
said, nigga.
Yo, bro,
Algorithms.
listen, but what I'm saying is,
And
as
that's
a
the
head
same
coach,
thing
you
they're
ain't got
saying to
no
Jordy
back.
Fernandez right
Bro,
now.
listen, this is what I'm saying. Bro, and so what? Jordy Fernandez got to have some type of pushback too. Like, why you just going there? Listen, yes, sir. That's your job.
So you telling me that you think Jordy Fernandez wants to shoot 55 threes a game the same way Jock Vaughn said he wanted to shoot 55 threes a game?
It's not
No,
a
that's
coincidence.
from them.
That's wrong. They wrong
Because
for
if it's
that.
going from one coach to another coach, that's not, they don't got the same brain. That's coming from the nigga above them.
That they
Exactly.
wrong for that, but they wrong for that. Listen, if y'all, that's not winning basketball. When you look at how the championship is won, it's not always because the team is knocking down the most 3-pointers. Sometimes, and again, my whole point is that taking away the glory that you get from and ones, the old-fashioned way to get the 3-pointer is taken away from the game, taken away from the entertainment, taken away from the fans. It's disrespectful to make
You
it seem like it's only one way to score a 3-point shot in this league. Is disgusting. Go to the basket, get a and one. That's a 3-pointer too. That's a 3-pointer.
you gotta have the players on your roster that can consistently do that.
Man, listen, no, that's not what Jay is saying. Jay is saying this is the way, yada, 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 yada. Bro, do you want a 3-point play? Go to the fucking basket. That's what I'm saying. That's the
Okay.
old-fashioned way. That's the
Okay.
way, man. Hold
Okay.
on.
I'm
Not for
cool.
Brooklyn,
And
bro. Nah,
and
Sean
to
Marks
and
not for
to and to
Brooklyn.
harp on that point, that you made.
Let me say this. Hold on. No, before I finish, the reason why I'm saying this, before this team even got to Brooklyn, the whole style of New York basketball, Brooklyn basketball, is having a good handle, guard play, crossing somebody up and getting to the basket. And niggas was yelling and one all the time. And one, nigga, even if they wasn't taking the free
They
throw.
came out with and one mixtape, man.
You see what I'm
My
saying?
mixtape stuff was here. You know,
And
I mean,
one was the thing.
Exactly. It needs
yeah.
to be Hold on. It needs to be an and one revolution. The new 3-pointers the Brooklyn Nets should be looking for is and ones. That's
But we need,
that's
we
what
need
we
players
need.
that's gonna force the issue for that to happen,
Cam
bro. Like,
Thomas,
and I'm,
Trey
no,
Powell.
and I'm gonna
Yes.
ask you again. Do
Who
you want Allen
gets the
Iverson
job
or do you
better than
want
Cam
Vince
Thomas?
Carter?
No, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm
What?
not
You, not,
agreeing.
I'm asking a question. Do you want
But
AI or Vince?
bro. I'm not agreeing with you, bro. I'm not
It ain't
agreeing with
not.
that
It's a
analogy.
question, nigga. That I'm not. It's not for you to agree with. Do you want AI or Vince?
Bro, none of those players, we got Vince. He part of the media. That's realistically what's happening. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
God, this nigga here, bro.
Bro, and AI is not on the team, bro. Like, what do you mean? I'm telling you the truth. Cam
In
Thomas
terms of
gets to
style of play, do you
listen.
want AI
Bro,
or Vince?
you not listening, bro. Cam Thomas get to the Brooklyn. Cam Thomas get to the foul line the best on the Brooklyn Nets. He can get in 1 point. I'm not answering that question, bro. I'm talking to you
Oh my
about
goodness.
basketball. I'm talking to you about basketball, bro.
But
Cam
basically,
Thomas gets to
if
the
I'm
foul
not
You're
line more
not
mistaken, you
than
talking to
saying
me
any other
about
player on the
basketball. You
Brooklyn.
talking to me about
Nets.
Cam Thomas as usual, and
Bro,
I'm
you're not
trying to
listening.
tell you, bro.
No, you want
And
to argue. You're not
I'm
listening,
trying to
bro. You're
tell you,
not.
bro. What's the difference between
You're not
gameplays?
listening,
You not
bro. I'm
listening,
talking
bro.
about.
Like
Well,
this
you
shit is
not
crazy.
listening,
We go
bro.
back and
Bro,
forth every day, and you
no,
trying to
no.
harp
That's
Cam
because of
Thomas'
you.
point all
No, it's
day.
because
I'm
of
not
you,
trying. I'm
bro.
not trying to argue with you.
It's
I'm trying
because
to
of
get
you,
you to.
bro.
I'm trying to get you to
No,
see my
bro.
point.
Stop. No,
That's
bro. You're not
all.
listening. But you're not listening. You do talking, but you don't. My point is that Cam Thomas gets to the foul line, and then he gets the most and ones on this team. That's the point. Nothing else. So I don't know what you talking about Vince Carter and Allen Iverson, bro. Like I'm not jacking that shit.
are you
Like
I'm
trying to
just all
compare
I'm
Allen
talking about
Iverson
is
to Cam
style of
Thomas?
plays, bro. That's all I'm talking about. You
It
keep
seems
the
like
you,
you're trying to
right?
contrast Allen Iverson to Cam Thomas, but then who is Vince Carter? Who you talking about?
my nigga. We was talking about this shit last night, bro. Now I already know.
But who's
Now
Vince Carter? Who's Vince Carter in the
I
comparison?
already know. I already know we ain't gonna get him. But like every time we played the nigga, Kaminga was looking like Vince
Oh
Carter
yeah,
on that court.
Vince
Oh
Carter.
my
That
fucking
you would
god,
say. So look, he's not saying that that's who these players are, but he's saying style of play, dribble to the rim, guard
bro.
like
I'm
AI
not. This is what
or
I'm saying
And
Vince
is
get
what I'm
at the
Carter.
saying is
basket.
what I'm saying is, I'm not giving Kuminga Vince Carter, bro.
My
Like,
nigga,
no,
go watch the
nigga
nigga
is
jump.
Yeah,
not
but
Go
I
Vince
feel
watch the
like he
nigga
Carter,
just
jump.
talking
Go
about.
watch the nigga playing contact,
I
bro,
think he
because he
just
ain't
talking about
settling for
style
jump
of play,
shots.
not caliber of player.
bro. What I'm saying is, I don't exclude Cam Thomas for Kuminga. They talk about Kuminga, then giving him $30 million. Like, nigga, what?
Who
The
giving him
first
30
player,
million?
hold on,
Who
let me
giving him
finish,
30?
bro, hold on, let me finish. This is what I'm hearing around his name. They talking about signing him instead of Cam Thomas. I seen Next Press put it on X. I said no to him. I'm saying no to you. I'm telling you that I'm
I'm
not
not telling
saying,
us to
But he
sign
bro.
the
not saying
nigga. Oh,
that.
Listen,
hold on.
what I'm
Wait.
saying is, when it comes to either or, that's what I'm hearing. They saying either or. Like, no, I'm not saying either or. I'm saying if you're gonna add Kuminga, but you don't have to subtract Cam Thomas because you added Kuminga. That's
Listen.
what I'm trying to say. Y'all trying to
Listen,
make it
there's a
either or all the
misunderstanding
time.
going on, bro. I'm not saying that neither, bro. We on the same page when it comes to that. All I'm saying is, bro, like, if this organization really values Cam Thomas like that, the deal would have been done already. That's number
Bro,
one.
I'm not talking about. I gave it to y'all already. I already told y'all on the business side, Cam Thomas doesn't have that advantage. I already said that. All I said was I got to the, but y'all keep harping on that after I already gave it to y'all. All I said is when it come down to the basketball side, he's the best fit for these rookies. He is. He's
We don't
better.
know
So
that.
in
Man,
my opinion,
We don't.
I'll
earlier in
stand on
this
my square
season.
and say that. I'll stand on my square by myself
I
and say
told
that.
y'all
I'm not
earlier in
asking
the
y'all to agree with
season
that shit.
that they was sitting him out of games so they could lowball him at the end of the year, and I thought
Yeah,
that was fucked up when I
true.
said it, and that shit is fucked
Yeah,
up
it
because they
is.
didn't let him play enough to increase his
Increases value.
value, and it's like, yeah, now what you gonna do? And it's like that's fucked up.
Yeah,
It
it
is fucked
is.
up.
It
It
is.
is fucked up, bro.
Especially if the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm gonna say this because again, I'm a fan, but I'm not loyal to the Brooklyn Nets to a fault. You know, like it's one thing to how you say appeal to the international fan base, but y'all getting fucking ridiculous if y'all gonna just make it seem like all of these national players don't mean nothing unless they, you know what I mean. I don't know, like I don't get how y'all could kind of just value the international player over the national player,
Cam was born
because
in
that's what
I
it looked
Japan.
like
mean,
they
Hold
did.
on, hold on. Cam was born in Japan. He
Right?
international
He
as well.
international too.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, but
That was said for like under
bruh,
force reasons. Like, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like,
y'all
listen,
know
them
what I'm
harp.
talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but them harping over and reaching out like the international fan base, bro. Like, I don't really got a problem with as long as this shit lead to results, bro. Like, be honest with
Bruh,
you, it's
what
a
I'm
new
saying is,
regime.
but what I'm saying, look, Leaf, there's nothing that these new players is supposed to do awesome that Cam Thomas can't be a part of it.
Diego the Man.
Stop it.
No,
Cause
That's true. It is what
Diego
they
the
do.
Man is a
But we
top
still
10
gonna
pick,
say
my nigga. Like, cause
it
if
still
he
go
if
both
he don't
ways,
show
bro.
out, my nigga, you gonna be the first nigga on him.
Bro,
no.
I'm not going to be the first nigga on it, bro. I expect him to play and develop, bro. I expect him to learn how to be a point forward and a point guard. I think he's going to learn how to do both this season. That's what they're looking for out of Diego Demin. I think they're going to want him to play inside the 3-point line. They're going to need him to play with his back to the basket. Jawan Howard might be training him too. Dead
That's what you
ass.
think?
Nah, bro.
Yes.
Bro, what?
Nah,
Yo,
That's a
Breeze,
crazy.
and yo, you know, you big optimism, you my nigga. But that's what you think, or that's what you want.
No, I'm thinking that's what I want them to do.
That's what you want. Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
that's
go. That's
exactly
what
what
you
it
want. Because
is.
that's you
I
know
gotta
that's
be what
not
it
what they
is.
about to do with him, bro. They
You
about
know
to
exactly
develop
what
his
that's not what they
3-point
about to
shot,
do.
have him push the pace. It ain't no back to the basket, no inside the 3-point line. He's gonna be passing the ball fast like Ben Simmons was, and then doing pick and rolls, and they gonna have him shooting the
Dribble
three.
hand DHOs, dribble handoffs, and all of that shit, like basic shit. If he could prove that he could do other shit in between, then they'll let him do it. But it depends on what level, to the degree that he's doing it, bro. If he could prove that he half of what Luke is, then they'll let him do half of that shit that you was talking about.
Cause look, and not to say this, but I would like to see some of that shit that you talk about. But ain't nothing that they done recently made me think that any of that shit about to happen.
Exactly.
I would
No, but
love to
what I'm
see it.
saying, Yeah. But bro, what I'm saying is that's why we here, bro. That's why we Nets fans, we the best fans,
They want
bro.
high
We
fly and they want run and gun. If you put your
listen.
back to the basket, you stopping the clock. They want 3-second offense. How you putting your back to the basket in 3 seconds?
Listen, what I'm saying is don't be one dimensional. Of course, you're gonna go in with your bread and butter, but you gotta be able to adjust.
Like,
Excuse
did
me,
you see what
especially
KD was talking about? My bad, not to cut you off one more time, but when KD was talking about, oh, you see how Tyrese play? Love the way Tyrese play. Soon as he being the best point guard because soon as he get the ball, he don't even dribble the ball up the court. He just kick it up the court every time. He kick it up, and then it puts pressure on the defense because somebody about to go. Like, that's what the Nets want too.
yeah.
I ain't going.
No,
I'm
listen.
not
I
gonna
know,
lie
I
to you,
know what they
Breezy.
check. I know what they're doing. They're trying to get the defense to play on their back foot. Because if you could get them to turn their hip on defense over and over, it's easy to score the ball, especially if you're putting them in one-on-one situations. I get them playing fast. I get the recipe coming from Jason Kidd and pushing the ball. That was the recipe, bro. Jason Kidd would grab the rebound and push the pace. He'd be the fastest one down court. They want that same thing from Diego and Nola. I get it. But at the end of the day, that's one part of the offense. If y'all only gonna have one basketball action, that one trick pony shit don't help you to a championship in the NBA. It don't, bro. You
I
got to be
think
able to
that's
do
the
more than
whole
that one
offense.
thing, bro.
But I think that's
No,
more. I think
man. We
that's more
got to
the
do more
fast
than
break
that. We
situation.
got
Yeah,
to
you
do
do.
more than
You
that, bro.
absolutely right.
No,
You
but
got to do
look,
more than
yo,
that.
you watch
You
Atlanta.
absolutely right.
I mean, you watch Indiana, bro. They try to make every play into a fast break.
You see what I'm
That's what they
saying?
try to do.
The best
And-
teams win. They lead in that stat, that transition points.
right.
They lead in that stat, bro.
And
Like
Indiana
they,
was damn close to winning it all, bro. Like, had it not been for one fucking injury, bro. So we like had them niggas would have won a championship instead of OKC. The flavor of the year would have been fast break offense, 3-second offense. I guarantee you it would have been.
but
No,
see,
it's
all
still
I'm
going to be
saying
some of
is
that next season,
that's
bro.
what
Even though Halliburton missing the
that's
whole
what
entire season.
our front office is in love with, and that's what
Yep.
they trying to recreate.
Indiana
Even though it
Pacers.
hasn't worked thus
Yeah.
far,
So
that's
you
what they're
what?
trying to
All right. So
recreate.
you. So the question is, Breeze, do Cam Thomas really fit this style of offense? Like, does he?
Yes.
I know you saying that he fits. You know what I'm saying? He should be alongside the young players. But when you think about what's being said, you ask yourself, does Cam really fit in with moving the ball this quick, running down court this quick? You know what I'm saying? Not being a ball stopper. Does he fit this offense?
And
Yes.
remember, y'all just said
Yes.
No.
that they trying to make Cam Thomas
Listen.
dribble less. Why are they
Listen.
trying
What
to
I'm
make
saying.
him dribble less so he could fit in with this?
Right. And again, my thing is, and I'm saying this because all of these players are unproven. The system is bigger than the player. So even me, I'm saying that. And we
Right.
got Jordy Fernandez to implement his style of basketball. That being said, if it is a push pace offense, I think Cam Thomas fits right in. Cam Thomas, you gotta realize these players that do ISO and score the ball, they be wanting those easy buckets, bro. That fast break is either they looking at, if you a scorer that like to put points up, you looking at it like I'm gonna either get to the free throw line or I'm gonna score or both.
But you're
You know what
gonna
I'm
have to
saying,
run. But you're gonna have to run a lot, and ain't gonna be no standing and waiting for no ISO shit.
bro?
That's what we're trying to tell you.
Bro, I already explained that, or I already know that, bro. Stop talking to me like I don't know that. I'm telling you, I know that, and yes, he's that kind of player. Ice just asked me that direct question. Yes, he can do that, bro. I don't know how many times I've seen it with him and Ed Sumner. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it before, bro. I've seen it with him and DDJ. I've seen it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm speaking off a hypothetical. I'm speaking off of actual, my net fan eyes actually seen the game. So
But
again, man, respect my handle, man. I know what
in
I'm
those
talking about.
situations, Breezy had a lot of ISO situations. And I mean,
No,
I
Exactly.
I'm not talking about that.
he
I'm
didn't.
not,
No, hold on.
huh?
He had a lot of ISO situations, right? But Cam got better at the catch and shoot, like we talked about before. That was the first thing he was getting better at was catch and shoot. So Jordy realizes that the less he dribbles, the better he is, right? And I'm not. That's why I asked the question. It's not that I don't think Cam don't fit in, but how? You know what I'm saying? How does he fit in? You know what I'm saying? He got to catch and
Easily.
shoot more. One dribble, two dribbles, you know what I'm saying? At the max is probably what he needs, you know what I'm saying? They're going to need him to do. And I think he's capable of doing that, you know what I'm saying? But
Bro, I
When
never
you
seen a teammate he uncomfortable next to, bro. This is what I be like. No, y'all dancing, bro. Y'all doing the bachata.
nah,
Y'all
man,
doing the
I'm
bachata
just
right now,
talking.
bro.
I'm new to the
No,
conversation.
seriously, like.
Nigga again with
I'm
this
trying to get in the
teammate shit,
convo.
bro. Oh
Oh
my
no, bro, I'm
god.
not. Listen, Ice, I'm with you in the conversation, but the bachata is, all of these soliloquies around it. Name one player he didn't play next to that he didn't do well. One.
Nah, it's not that. I'm trying to get you to realize that a lot of his
Yeah,
buckets was ISO buckets. But on the flip side of that, he does well catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? As well. But
Ice.
Cam
You
is
know
an
why?
ISO bucket scorer.
Ice. You know why I get so mad? Because
Well,
y'all making it seem like it's always Cam Thomas that got to get acclimated. No,
no,
they
I
got to
mean
get
not,
acclimated. Hold
but
on,
not
hold on.
Breezy.
Go ahead.
He's the only one that's not on the roster right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
it's he's the only one that's not on the roster. I'm not. I
That's the
want Cam back on
business,
the team, right? But he in
bro.
a
But
bad situation. You know what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying is y'all confusing the business with the basketball. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Like the
no,
business
no,
is the
because it
business.
goes along with basketball too. It goes along because you got to realize when we watch Cam, if you go turn on like I did with Jay, turn on Cam Thomas, you're gonna see him a lot of isolation buckets, bro. A lot of
That's the protocol,
a lot
bro.
of tween step backs, a lot of you know what I'm saying, mid range jumpers is nonstop isolation buckets. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked that question, even though I know he could do other things, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I asked that
Right.
question and how
But
much he's gonna have to cut down the isolation buckets.
but what I'm saying is again, even if y'all will right, which I still stand on my square, I feel like he can push the pace. And on top of that, when it comes down to that's one part of the offense. It's going to come a time where it got to be half court offense, and he's the best half court player we got. Facts. And when it come down to the pick and roll, he could run the pick and roll with any of those players. He could run it with Jaeger. He could run with any player on the team. So he could run a pick and roll. He could push
We
the
don't
he
know
could
that.
help push bro. That's my opinion, bro. I don't need you to ad lib, bro. This is my opinion because of what I've seen him do in the past with every other teammate. And again, that's the coach's fault. Steve Nash and Jordy Finn. I mean, all the other who is it? Jock Vaughn. It's their fault for putting him in situations where they're not setting screens and pick and rolls for Cam Thomas. That's on them for putting Cam Thomas in the corner to play until the play break down to 13 seconds or left. That's not on Cam Thomas. That's them. I'm watching the game, watching it through the lens of Cam Thomas to see what they actually doing with him on the floor. They was disrespecting him, not making him a first option, not making him a second option. He was the third or fourth option in the play. And the play was always the same. He get the
This
ball
shit was
all the way
dumb, bro.
top of the all the way on the top of the 3-point line. Bro, like I'm actually watching the game. And what I'm saying is they making it seem like it's always Cam Thomas that got to get acclimated to these other players. No, these players that we have not seen play NBA basketball have to get acclimated to the NBA and the players inside of the NBA. And one of those players is Cam Thomas. That's just the facts of it. It's the
Nah.
other way around. Y'all making this, and again, the only reason why we here is because of the business. Like I said, I got nothing, you know what I'm saying, to push back on that. I get everything that y'all saying with the soliloquy.
But Breezy,
But
Yeah,
the
Cam,
basketball
yo,
side,
that's not necessarily true.
realistically, Cam Thomas is not a big enough player right now to dictate the system. And the system that they want to run is not Cam Thomas's strong suits.
Facts.
That's the what I'm about to say. It's not about the players coming in. I gotta adjust to them, right? It's like Jay said, it's the system. You know what I'm saying? Like
what
you
you
got a
but
new
but
coach.
what you mean strong suits? Who's a better shooter that's coming in right now than Cam Thomas? Trey Powell? Who?
Well, if you're talking about shooter, let's talk about specifically catch and shoot, because that's what they're looking
Okay.
for. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
Who's
know.
better?
Y'all can tell me the answer, but they're looking for the catch and shoot type shooters and slashers. And
MPJ,
huh?
but MPJ shoots better than
MPJ
Cam.
is a way better catch and shoot player than
MPJ.
anybody we
What
got on
about
our
Terrence
team.
Mann? Is he a catch and shoot guy too?
Terrence Mann is more of an athlete. He's somebody that's gonna get out
A
on the break and
slasher,
get done.
somebody that's
Yeah,
gonna cut when it
yeah,
ain't nobody open and then get it.
exactly.
Yeah.
See, but like
Cam,
you got to look at the people, the way that they want to play, and the way they keep saying. Because look, last year they kept saying they wanted to play fast, but we was last in pace, so they wasn't doing it right. If that's what they was saying that they wanted to do,
And now
but
they drafted 3 point guards, so like they trying to go in that direction. They
right.
drafted three pass heavy players and three players that's known for moving the ball. So now they're trying to move
So
more in that
so hold on,
direction.
let me ask you this. All of these pass happy players, y'all don't want them to be pass happy to a player that want to score? Cam Thomas is score happy. Why a
But
pass
then
happy player
why
can't
you
pass
keep
it to a
saying it
score
like
happy
we
player?
against Cam and you just the only one up here for Cam? Like we with
That's
you,
that.
bro.
That's the
But
which
we
is
That's
just trying
crazy
to
to
talk
me.
through
it's
what
weak.
the
It's really weak
organization is
because
trying
it's
to do.
Which is crazy to me, bro. Like because like the thing is, what you telling us, bro? Like you want Cam Thomas to get more, quote unquote, grenades. That's what
no,
you
I didn't
telling
say
us,
that.
bro. Like we want
I
him to
never
be in
said
more
that. Did you
sets.
say
We
no? I
want.
didn't say that. I never said that. I
Of course, you
never
didn't
said
say
Nah,
it, my
that
nigga. But
but
at the same
that
time,
ain't
bro,
what
it's
he's saying. He's saying he want them to draw plays up for Cam Thomas strong suits, but it
no,
goes
I'm not.
completely
How y'all
opposite.
saying that?
It go completely opposite from what they trying to do, I think. Because
Bro,
I
I'm
feel
not
because
saying
you said you
I'm
want
not.
him to be able to get the ball in space and do and go to work like he can. Which
Bro,
what?
what? No, I'm saying that when they try to double Cam Thomas on top of the 3 point line, right after he pass half court, you got Yeager to pass it to, Nolan to pass it to. If you got Nolan on the floor, Cam Thomas, you got Nolan bringing the ball up. So Cam Thomas not even getting the double team. He, in my opinion, playing off ball. Yeager on the floor with him. He again playing off ball. They playing Cam Thomas in situations where it is his strong suit to catch and shoot. So or pump fake and get to the basket. Y'all know I was asking that from Noah Clowney, but just bringing it to the conversation of pump fake and getting to the basket from Noah Clowney to Cam Thomas, that's easy for Cam Thomas. I seen him with a game winner once KD passed it to him versus the Spurs do it. Now I'm saying all I have to say, these players in my opinion, aligned with Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Being a better player. I don't think they hurt Cam Thomas. I just think that at the end of the day, if they don't value him, I'm not going to, in these times, and you know what I'm saying, pretend like I don't and see what he could do with these rookies. I do. I don't never vlog like I know what the Brooklyn Nets are going to do. I just vlog about what I want to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the misunderstanding with me to the fans sometimes. Like I don't know what the Brooklyn Nets is fitting to do, and I don't agree with everything that they be doing. Just
But you
because
gotta
I'm a
watch
fan
what
of
they
the team,
doing to predict
bro.
what they about to do. Like you gotta watch the move that they made because one plus one equals two every time.
Bro, I don't want them to. My thing is not to always try to predict what they do. My thing is to say what I want to happen. So maybe they hear the podcast or enough fans say what I'm saying and what I want to happen. It's like we want to happen as Nets fans. Like I'm just trying to give the Nets fans a voice because I think sometimes that the front office should listen to the Nets fans. It's not for me to predict. I don't vlog so I can predict what Sean Marks and Joe Tsai going to do. That's not what I vlog. That's not my content. You feel what I'm saying? So I said all that to say that, bro.
No,
But
I feel you.
we
But
got
yeah.
Dante.
So we
I just don't be liking to be disappointed because they not doing what I want them to do. Like I just be trying to figure out what's really behind this move. Like what's the method to y'all madness? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. But I'm gonna say this. We're gonna go to Reeves and Scott. Stay on the panel. I'm out to motivate in a little bit. Y'all care to add to this conversation, Scott? Just shout your channel out, Scott, and then we're gonna get to the conversation.
Chop cheese break.
Scott's
It's
got
about
a bit.
lunchtime anyway, you know what I mean? So
True. Dante, you there?
What's good with you, bro?
Chilling, man. We just talking basketball, man. What you think about the rookies? You think the Brooklyn Nets should start fresh with just these rookies and move on from Cam Thomas, or you think he'll be good with the rookies?
I mean, me personally, dog, I think they should stick with Cam Thomas because Cam Thomas has yet to um unleash his true potential. So I don't think they should get rid of Cam Thomas because Cam Thomas has a lot of upside left. We have yet to see what the true Cam Thomas really look like. So I think they should stick with Cam Thomas. develop the rookies, build around that core, and I'm very optimistic to see what the Brooklyn Nets do and the direction that they're going in. So I think that Cam Thomas should remain a Brooklyn Net.
Nah, that's what's up. What's good with you though, man? You wanted to talk about anything specific?
I mean, whatever you got going on,
Nah, like
I'm
I
with
mean
it.
the other part of the show where we talk. Did you see the part? Was you here when they was talking about the where we played the clip to Nash and Katie and Braun talking about when they was in Brooklyn?
I mean, I heard some of it, but I just got in. To be
Okay.
fair, if Kevin Durant told that was behind the line, the Brooklyn Nets should have won the championship that year. Cause what
Yeah, he
happened
mentioned that.
4 years ago, the Brooklyn Nets was matching the Milwaukee Bucks in games 1 and 2.
Word. Yeah, we won. We was up 2-0 going into Milwaukee. I remember that. Then Kyrie got hurt. She was crazy, man.
And James
But
Harden was playing on one leg too, and a hamstring.
yeah, yeah, they spoke on that too. But I just felt like it was a lot unsaid, man. I wasn't happy with that interview. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But it's all good though. I ain't tripping. Hold on. We gonna go to Scott real quick and feedback. Yo, Scott, you back? Yeah, you probably on mute, Scott. Hold on. Shout to Urban K. Shout to Easy. I
Yeah, I'm
see you
back.
in the chat. All right, Scott back. Shout to Claude. I see ya. What up, Scott? Talk to us.
Not much. How y'all been? How's everybody?
John.
We good. I'm just trying to figure out if the fans want to see Cam Thomas with the rookies or not. What you
Oh
think,
yeah,
Scott?
yeah. I think, like I said, even last year, I said the same thing. I said it's a terrible time for a rebuild, knowing that this guy need to show what he can do, and that that came back now to bite him. As far as his contract is concerned, what people see and how people see him, but. Yeah, he needs the opportunity to play. He needs to show what he can do, and with a team that's trying to win, not trying to lose.
Nah, facts, man. Shout your channel out, Scott. I know what it
Yeah,
is.
you can
Well, according
reach
to
me.
Sean Marks, they never put any limitations on their players.
Yeah, but they did wanted to, when they took Schroeder off the team, they showed what they wanted to do. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
apartment.
true.
You can reach me at Apartment Gamer and more on YouTube, and Apartment Gamer One on X.
But shout your channel out though, for real though. I interrupted you. My bad, bro.
Yeah. I just said it. You can reach me at Apartment Gamer and more on YouTube and Apartment Gamer X One on X.
All right, that's what's up. Um, yeah, man. Listen, man. I said everything I wanted to say, and the whole thing with XGA and Paulo. I just wanted to say to that, if y'all want to talk about that, is that it makes sense to pay them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
Money,
hear we always
money,
say,
money, money,
yeah,
money. You gotta
it,
play the
it makes
fucking Ted DiBiase song for them niggas.
it makes sense for SGA to get paid by the Thunder. It makes sense for Paulo to get paid. I'm saying by Orlando Magic. You know what I mean? So
I ain't gonna
I,
lie, them niggas is all in.
so again, like
They all in.
I'm not saying I wanted Cam Thomas to. I wanted Brooklyn Nets to do that with Cam Thomas. I'm not saying that. Again, it's nice to see that a franchise knows what they have and believes in the potential of
You
their
wanted
team.
Cam Thomas to get 4 years, 100 mil.
Nah, I'm not. But hold on, Orlando. I like what they did because in the early part of Paulo career, they trying to build a championship team. You feel what I'm saying? They not wasting no time. They see the potential around them, and they making a lot of moves to try to compete now. You know what I'm saying? I know they lost, but remember that I think they were that year that the Celtics won in the regular season. They was beating the Celtics. I think stuff like that had them build the confidence. Like and then they seeing the Celtics not gonna be, you know what I mean, a good team next year. Like they looking at it like, yo, if we was gonna steal a championship, they like might be some swiper, no swiping type shit in the East. Like the Orlando Magic is really trying to, you know what I'm saying? They
Niggas
really
is
trying
basically
to
gonna be the monkey from Dora.
How much did Shea get?
Shay got
285.
280 for
5 years,
stupid
285.
money.
I
Yeah,
would
Yeah.
I
five.
was surprised. I feel like that. How come Shea didn't get more than Jalen Brown? And
Because he didn't get drafted to OKC. That's why. So they had to lower it a
okay,
little bit, but but he did win Finals MVP and regular season MVP and a scoring title, and he was an All NBA the last 3 years. So 4 years, two
honestly, the
eighty
only reason
five.
why I'm
So
asking, even though that's a whole lot of goddamn money, still, I just was
yeah,
thinking after Tatum and Brown contracts was going to go up even more and more,
right,
but it
right.
seemed like it's leveling out or going down. I don't know.
It seemed like it's gonna level out compared to SGA contract. I will say this: the last year SGA contract that he just signed, he will be getting paid $80 million in one
Yeah.
year. And I think on the last year of Tatum contract, he gonna be getting paid $71 million. But I don't think the Celtics is gonna keep Jalen Brown for another year. So that's just my opinion,
$1 million a game is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
nigga.
That is
Crazy,
crazy.
crazy ain't the word, bro. That shit is.
I
You should
mean,
not. You should not be under. You should not be in chapter 9 at all, my nigga. Like yo, you should be eating for. Your family
well,
gonna be all right for good for
Imagine
years
you
to
have a
come.
bad game and you play getting paid $1 million a game. That shit just
That's a
crazy.
fact. You got to like so. If you getting paid $1 million a game, bro, like you at least got to put up double figures almost every game.
you ain't gonna do it
Facts.
though. That ain't gonna happen.
Why not?
I mean, yeah, it could.
And
It
remember,
Like
could.
10
that's
points.
only if you play every
That's
game.
true.
These
That's
dudes not
true.
playing every game, so really it's more than $1 million a game because they're not playing every game. So
Yeah, it's possible.
They
It's
not playing every
possible.
game, yeah, because it's like that low management shit is like the NBA now. You know what I'm
because
saying?
how
They
many?
gonna rest niggas.
Anybody know how many games Shea played this year?
I don't
Shea
know, but
played
it's a
about
lot.
like
I'm a
68, I think.
shout out to Lucky
68.
T. Yeah, because he
So
had won the award. You got to play above, I think, X amount of games.
65.
Yeah, 65 games for you to win that award. So he played a
so
lot of
Yeah,
3 games over the 65.
yeah,
But
3 games. Yeah.
What up,
if you
Lucky T?
take that 70 million and average that by that, you got paid more than $1 million a game.
That's a fact. You
Yeah.
got paid way more than $1 million a game, bro. You
But
add on like perks and all that other shit, bro. Like, yeah, you did all right. I think I want to say SGA played 76 games. And played
okay.
76 games. My bad.
Okay, shout out to
76.
him. Shout out
So
to
how
him.
much was his
He
contract
wasn't
again?
taking a lot of games
4 years,
off.
285, I think. 4 years,
285.
285. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they can afford that.
They can. I'm just worried about J Dub and the rest of these niggas, bro. Because I
Yeah,
know
they
J Dub.
yeah, that one more hit like that and then everybody else is getting bare minimum.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody else is. Yeah, they're gonna have to get chicken McNuggets, and they're gonna have to rebuild the team through draft picks, which they still
Right.
have. So, I
Right.
mean, Nikola Topa seemed to be all right, bro. Like I seen him yesterday, bro. Like they might have a lead guard on their hands, but it's gonna be teams that want him to run their own team. So maybe.
Yeah. They try to equal they try to make it where every team has an opportunity. That's what the whole apron is about. That everybody can get a superstar on their team or have an opportunity to get one and still have a team to play. But, you know, what can I say? I mean, it's a difference between you playing in New York City where there's 10 million people living here and OKC where you lucky if you got 1 million people there. So,
In
uh,
Snyder, Texas, it's only 11,000 people there, so
so see,
they ain't even got no team.
right, right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit
Yeah,
levels.
yeah. Like Dallas has a metropolitan area where it's millions of people there. But
Hell yeah, Houston too.
yeah, Houston do too. That's true. But not every city is lucky to have that. Plus, the marketing where your companies that you have in your city that operate for the whole country. When you think about it, when you go to Wall Street and you go to Fashion Avenue and you go to, you see what I'm saying? There's a difference between each state and each city. So Some cities have it, some cities don't.
Yeah,
So
but
that
that's
makes
why
it
them
different.
cities that don't got it, everybody from like they travel to go to
Right.
those major cities.
Right. Exactly.
Mhm.
Like,
Exactly.
cause one of the OKC fans was telling me on Iceman page, like he not even from OKC, they from Kentucky or somewhere around there, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just root for that because they ain't got no team in Kentucky.
Right. 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 But they don't have the disposable cash like, say, for instance, people in New York City, because you can hustle here. How much hustling you can do in Kentucky? So can't afford that uniform, that jersey, that costs two hundred
I ain't
dollars.
gonna lie, my nigga. Like,
Yeah.
how much we got left in the cap right now? 17 mil. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
17
Yeah,
mil.
17
I be,
million, and they don't want to
I
pay
be,
Cam
I,
Thomas much.
I be honest with you, bro. If this organization run out and go get like a high flyer that could knife to the basket, we all in on that Indiana shit, bro. Like, that's clear to me.
I
Leave. How do you know we're doing that? Because honestly, you look at who we got. We don't have the talent that OKC or Pacers have, and right now, potentially Cam Thomas might be out of here just because Sean Marks don't want to pay him. So I don't even know if we're even on that trajectory right now.
I
Can't
I
say that,
mean,
but
honestly,
I think we at least built 1/3 of it, bro.
I
Like with the
honestly,
passes.
honestly,
I don't even know
I
if we're
be
even a teaspoon of the way there at this
being
point. We got to see
No,
how it
no,
goes
we
for the
not.
back.
Nah, I'm not. It's not complete. I'm not saying that. It ain't nowhere near complete. All I'm
no,
saying is, it seemed like every step that they took from the time that the draft started and time that the draft ended, and looking at the way that the roster is starting to construct out, it seemed to me like they're trying to build the early pieces of what the Indiana Pacers had this past year. That's
yeah,
just my like. It just seemed that way to me.
I don't see
I
it.
don't know.
I see them trying to incorporate your style basketball with having a lot of playmaking, but you don't have a center, you don't have a power forward, and right now Cam Thomas is our only scorer. He might be out the door just because Marks is lowballing him right now. So we're missing a lot of pieces right now.
I mean,
you know,
shit, you got
honestly,
MPJ, bro. Like,
honestly,
he ain't
That's
bad.
honestly
one guy.
speaking,
That's one guy though, Leaf, and
I
he's not.
mean,
He's a third
I
option.
understand. I'm not saying it's complete, John. All I'm saying is they starting to, it seemed like they're taking the first steps towards it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, it's
honestly
nowhere near complete.
speaking, honestly speaking, nobody, and being honest, be very honest. I want people to be honest. Nobody saw the Pacers going to the finals. Stop it. Nobody saw that.
The second that they beat Cleveland, I knew they was going to the NBA Finals.
Right. It took it into the playoffs that you knew they were for real.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot
like
of people
it was.
didn't. A lot of people didn't. Especially at the beginning of the year, they did not look like the same
I
team.
mean, listen,
Mathurin and them did not play well until
after they
after the
beat
season.
after they beat the Knicks last year, I thought they was going to the finals, but the Knicks got hurt.
I did too, but not at the beginning. After you saw them come out the blocks, kind of shady.
But I did
Nobody
have
thought
them as
that.
an X Factor team in the East, though. Like, I
Right.
will say
You had
that.
them a
Like,
playoff team. You did have them a
no,
playoff team.
I had them as the sleeper team in the East.
Oh, okay.
I,
Yeah.
I had them as a sleeper team in the East. So, like,
I
I
mean,
mean,
from year to year, when you look at when as somebody as a fan and who played as a fan in street ball, you go year by year on how people's development is. You really don't know exactly who can come out the block and be a good player. You
facts,
really don't know that. Some people you just say, well, last year, you going from last year. That's what you're going from.
facts.
So when somebody come into the year, say for instance, like Dayron Sharp, I don't know if he worked on his game in a position where Jordy can use that in on this team. I really don't know that. So I don't know. Dayron
Here,
might come out and be able to put up 10 points, 10 rebounds every day.
here's my
That's
question to you. I have a question for you, Scott.
possible.
If Cam takes a 1 year deal, what are the odds that he's staying past that 1 year deal or he's not? Because that
Well,
was been a big
it
topic of discussion
depends.
today.
It depends on how his agent saying, how he's negotiating with other teams. That's how that goes.
But there's nobody negotiating with. That market,
Right.
like Tim McMahon said today, is dead. There is no market right now.
Listen. I knew that last year, and I told people, and I don't know if John, you remember, I told people this is really a bad time for Cam Thomas.
Bad time for all restricted free agents.
I said that.
Minga too.
Well, in this case, it was bad because everybody wanted the team to tank, and he needed to show.
And he didn't get the chance to show because of injury. I agree. That was a big
downfall. Even if he was playing, it wouldn't have translate because we look at teams and players translation with winning.
No, I agree. And Cam wants to win, but
so if you
they're not in position
if
for that.
Team is not trying to win, you're not going to get paid what you should be getting paid.
Right, and Cam Thomas has always said he's super confident in his abilities and he doesn't have nothing to improve his organization. But now Sean Marks wants to take the strategic, cheap narrative price that we told him to take years ago. But if I'm Cam Thomas, though, I'm like, you overpaid Joe Harris, you overpaid Alan Crabb, you overpaid Nick Claxton. I'm better than all those guys offensively, yet you want me to take a 1-year deal. That's probably the one thing I agree with Cam Thomas and his representation about. Why do I got to take a cheap ass deal when you overpaid all these guys? That's probably the only thing Cam has over him is that.
That's in hindsight. You can't really go from the past and make it the future.
But Mark has a record though doing it.
Even if he was with another team, say he went to another team that was in the situation the Nets were, they would do the same thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
They would do the same thing when it comes to money. They're going to lowball you the best way. Honestly, when you look at Shea's contract, he deserved more than $280 million. Had he played on the Knicks or the Nets, he would have got more than $280 million. He would have got $300.
You talking about Shea?
Yeah.
He's good right now. That guy's gonna be making $1 million a game in 3 years, man. He's all right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, do you think OKC is gonna pay him $1 million a game? They can't afford to.
Yeah, what I'm saying, timing is everything. Cam just got bad timing. All the dudes had timing when they got paid. Claxton, Joe Harris, everybody had, even Cam Johnson. Timing is everything.
Right.
Cam, Kuminga, Josh Giddey, they all got bad timing, bro. They timing it all.
Well, Ice, did you watch Tim McMahon what he said today on Connor Long's show today? Did you watch what he said?
No, I didn't see it.
No, watch it later. It's called The Brooklyn Boys. Tim McMahon gave a big analysis on Cam's market and stuff. It was very telling. Listen, I don't want to disagree with everything that McMahon said about Thomas, but I kind of do agree. Like, I see why the NBA sees him the way he does. And here's the thing. If he's a sixth man on a great team, that's a great, he's great value. But on a team like us right now, there is no value right now. And that's unfortunate for Cam and his agency. But I feel like if he's not a long-term fixture on his team, I'd rather we nip this in the butt sooner than later than just keep Cam Thomas on the team so we flip him like we did D'Lo. I feel like that would be a waste of time at this point.
It's not unfortunate, John.
You know what else is disheartening? You know what else is disheartening? When he was putting up 2024 and you look at the stats and who else is putting up the same numbers that he was putting up. Look at what Cam Thomas was making, obviously on a rookie scale contract, and look at his company. Look at the money that they make it. So Cam Thomas asking for that money, I get it, but again, like I said, on the business side, I just think it's a good, from the franchise to the players that they just drafted, it's a good look to, you know what I'm saying, to pay Cam Thomas, but just I guess being, I don't know what's the word, just, you know what I mean, take it, basically having an upper hand and just using it from franchise to player, because that's what they're doing, it could backfire. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to leave a good impression. If you want to get 5 first-round draft picks, they're going to be thinking about what's going to happen with their rookie scale contract when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? They at least want to see him do right by Cam Thomas sometimes with some type of way. They don't want to see him get done dirty. Disrespectfully, like, they drafted me.
That is a fact.
I feel like they was making Cam Thomas sit out a lot of them games, saying you not 100% better. You're not 100% better, but at the same time, they just devaluing him so they could lowball him in the future, and that's fucked up business, bro.
I agree. No, listen, Jay, I 100% agree with your organization
did. Not just
back
unfortunate. John, that's why I'm saying it's not just that it's unfortunate. It's fucked up, because if I put you in the position to not be able to do, and then I say, well, you didn't do shit, you was injured, like, That's fucked up.
No, and seriously, that's why I feel
Right.
like if Cam
As long as
isn't a
a more
long-term part of the
relevant
future,
player, you know what I'm
they're
saying?
in the bud at
That's
this
why he
point.
had the shirt. Ain't shit funny.
Like I
Right.
don't want Cam here if Marks is just waiting to trade him. I feel like that's just a waste of his time, a waste of all the people that support his time, and just our time. Because why are we going to talk about a guy who clearly the organization's saying we don't see you as a cornerstone guy? Maybe you're a third option or a sixth man, but it's like you still want to pay him less than 15 mil, and I think that's going to hurt Sean Marks, like you just said, Breeze. Because these other guys are looking, hey, this guy's a better scorer than us, but he's getting lowballed way worse than we're probably going to be lowballed. So it's like, what are we doing here? I think that's what Sean Marks' problem is. He was overpaying all these other guys. Now he finally grew a brain and a set. Now he wants to hold his ground. This is why I told multiple people that Sean Marks can't be the guy to do this. He is not a businessman. This guy is a flip-flopper. He doesn't know what he's doing. And now you're going to see this if Cam Thomas does sign a one-year deal and he's flipped for nothing, basically. He'll be flipped maybe a pick. Like,
John,
it could happen now with what's going on here.
Don't see Sean Marks in the alley, please.
No, I listen, I would never choose violence against somebody, but I clearly understand why this
I'm
guy's
just
bad at
saying,
his job.
he
No,
probably
man, but
hates
you
your
still got to look
guts.
at the market, though. If they send you out and say, John, I'm going to pay you money, but go out, let me see what your value is. And you go out and you can't find shit, that means you ain't worth shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
No. But to Jay's point, though, they were sitting this guy a lot of games, and Jock Vaughn didn't even trust the guy when he was starting to break out on his own. Like, he has not gotten the trust from this organization, and now you
Right.
basically expect him to take nothing but play for the next 2 years. No, hey, Cam, we're going to
no,
deload you. You're going to be
And they
flipped for
ha-
Giannis.
it's not,
Like, that's not
John,
cool.
like, bro, like
John.
Iceman, you just saying that if he find out it ain't no market for him, hey, shit out of luck.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
but
just
it's,
saying that it's fucked up for the organization to hold him back, like John was just saying. So he
Yeah,
can't even build the market for itself properly
right. And he
for
still has
years,
decent,
for
and he
years
still has,
on years on
What
years.
what's
yeah, and he
crazy is
still
they've been
has.
holding him back. Like if you go back to those if you go back to his rookie year, bro, like he had a stretch of games where he was averaging like 20 plus points, bro. Like, but of course with the lineup, bro, like you'll never know because most of them shits was losses. So they say subbed him out, they gave him DMPs, and then they went right back to square one, and they did the same thing over and
That's why
over
he
and
like, yo,
over for
I
the
was
next
scoring
couple of
20
years.
for a minute. Now I gotta score 40, man. I gotta score 40 on the
so
40
I'm
don't
gonna ask
work
you,
either.
hold on. I
40
got a
don't
good
Yeah.
work.
question.
So
I got a good question. And you seen this happening to you. Do you sign the qualifying offer or not?
I
He could.
mean,
He could.
if you
No, no,
just
no,
came
no,
if
no,
you
no,
just
no,
came
no,
off
no,
the
no. Yes
season,
or no, yes or no, yes or no. You sign you getting held
it
back.
depends.
No,
It
no, no,
depends.
no, 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 it don't depend.
It
Yes or
do
no?
depend.
Nah, man, nah, because I'm about to
I
get
don't
to
think
something.
everything
Wait,
ain't
let me
just
hear the
no,
question, bro.
ice,
Can I hear the
ice.
question?
Everything
Can
ain't
I
cut
hear the
and
question,
dry.
bro? Can I hear
All
the
right,
question, bro?
do you
Right. Get him shit up. Go ahead. Let
you
EC
being
and Ice
held
get their
back,
shit
right?
off. Go ahead, yeah.
Through your career, shit ain't going right. You're being held back. Now it's time for you to go for another contract, right? Do you sign a
Uh,
qualifying offer or you just leave it on the table?
you sign a qualifying offer.
I
You
gotta
trying to
sign
stay
that
in the league?
qualifying offer.
You
No,
signing
Nah,
it?
Ice.
you
No,
trying to stay
Ice.
in the league?
No, Ice. Hear me
Yeah.
out. No, Ice. Hear me out. Because if I'm a player that didn't get enough burn or didn't showcase my talent, so off rip, I'm asking my agent what's the market for me and players like me in that kind of field. Because more times than not, the agent I have gonna be managing multiple NBA players. So I'm gonna ask for my market off rip. Then I'm going to assess myself. If I didn't get enough burn, and if everybody around me getting low contracts, more times than not, if I'm taking the business into account, I can't really go out there and fetch a price for myself. If anything, I have to accept a price that they give me. And unfortunately, in this situation, since I'm in this position right here, pause, I have to take this offer that they have on the table for me. Now I have to move strategically and see if I could parlay that into the next contract, a bigger contract. But right now, I have to take that because they have a control and an advantage over me that I can't leverage at the moment. So I have to create leverage for myself. The best way I could create leverage for myself is to get out on the court and show other teams that I have something to give to their team other than this one that I'm on right now.
No, that's a fair point. The only I think Cam's only options are you take a 2-year contract, hope you do well, just like you said, get yourself an all-star conversation, and maybe re-up with the Nets or ask for a trade at that point. But if you take a 1-year deal, they could probably trade Cam Thomas at that point, just because he's only gonna be making what 6 to 15 mil, like Lee said. Like that would be a potential worry if he takes the 1-year deal. But that's his only leverage if he wants to get out of this situation. I feel like those are the only options right now Cam Thomas has because Sean Marks is not going for 3 years right now.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. No, when you sign a qualifying offer, that becomes your option. You had an option before you signed a qualifying offer because you could have went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But because you signed that and you're restricted now they get to match it. So what? Like Easy saying, like this is your path right now. You either got to take a 2 year 6 million, you know what I'm saying, like the rest of the guys, or you know what I'm saying, you gonna be
Go
short
find
regardless.
somebody that's willing to pay you, and we'll see if we can match it.
Exactly. Like
But
that's
but
it. That's
but
go ahead,
hold on, real quick, because we talked about this in a previous live. So, Jay, real quick, right? If I'm an outside looking in, right? So if I'm outside looking in, I'm looking in at y'all, right? I see that you offered him something and he didn't take it, right? And now with the information I have, I know that guy is a restricted free agent. So that's the highest number that they are willing to offer him. So me as a business outside, it will be bad business for me to offer him a higher number than that when the people in house didn't offer him that high number. If anything, it would be better because now I could say maybe I could offer him a lower number and gauge where that team is at with him. Now, if I put that lower number out there and they immediately match it, now there's some optics and some politics that come into it. Maybe they wanted to use another team to bid lower on the guy because they didn't want to offer him too much money. A lot of things go into it. Maybe the team just wants to see what was going on with the other team, so they bid low and see how quick you were going to bid back, right? It's a lot of things that go into GMing. But at the end of the day, me as an outside business, it will be bad business to offer this guy, an outside contractor, more money when they was inside of a company and the company was offering him less.
You know what the worry is? Who could potentially pry Cam Thomas free agency next year? It's the Wizards. They're gonna have over $100 million in cap space. They could sign Cam easily next year if he takes a qualifying offer and doesn't want to re-up with us. So there's a lot of worry if he takes that 1 year deal because the Nets aren't going to have the biggest cap space next year. There are other teams who are making plans like Clippers to have that type of cap space. So I think you got to get a 2 year deal with an option at this very point. That probably is the best chance you have. If it's a qualifying offer, do not be surprised if Marks just flips him for something. We're all going, what the hell, man? This is your best score. But that's what Sean Marks has done. He's always tried to trade something for something and pretend that it's gold. It's not gold. You literally just didn't want to pay the kid. Like, be honest. Like, I just don't like the bullshit going on with Cam Thomas situation. At the end of the day, I understand why people undervalue him. I totally get that. But what you do with the contract situation, you had no problem giving these other guys all this damn money the years past. Now with Cam Thomas, like, oh, he doesn't have good character. He doesn't defend well. Now that the Cam Johnson or Joe Harris, he had no problem paying them money. like that's the problem with Sean Marks. His baggage has hurt this team way too much already, and now we're even struggling with the most simplest decisions. Give Cam Thomas a 2 year deal and call it a day. I'll leave it at that.
I think they're going to sign him.
Hopefully he get a 2 year for like 12 mil or something like that. 12 mil or like
yeah, something like that. 12, 15 mil. It's not
Listen,
fun.
I was thinking about 15, like a 2+1.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like,
none
I
of these
mean,
niggas
like
getting
at
a
this
player
point.
option. None of these niggas getting a player option. Nobody on this team have any leverage to ask for a player option.
Wait, Zaire and Dayron got player options for next year.
Zaire is more tenured in the league, been around the league, got traded and more stuff. Well, let me rephrase my
Do that.
statement.
Mm-hmm.
The homegrown talent that we have 2 to 5 years bird rights on, we're not offering them player options.
That's interesting.
Okay, I mean,
The people that we have our guaranteed bird rights on, and we 4 years deep into their bird rights, we're not giving them player options.
I wouldn't argue with that, but I would. What I would ask is, what's the chances of us really getting Kuminga? Because his name has been surfacing up a lot, bro. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you.
They said they don't want him, man. It's reports that say him now because we had the space to get him and we didn't resign Cam, but you know what I'm saying? His name being tossed around, but the Brooklyn Nets already said they're not interested in Kuminga.
They're not going to overpay for Kuminga. That's what Tim McMahon said today. They're in it, but they're not really in it. They're just like seeing what's going on. They're not ready to make a huge offer for him until it's like a little.
Real quick, John.
Kuminga is asking for 30 something, bro. Like, and the initial offer sheet is 22, and we don't have 22. But I mean,
exactly.
So
exactly that.
Right now, it's either right now, bro. I don't understand the weight on Cam Thomas. I don't understand the contract dispute because we could
Why?
dig in the we could dig in the hard, but because he's our draft pick and we could dig in the hard cap, bro. Like we don't have to use our initial 17 mil.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's the reality.
but who is giving him that? That's what I'm saying. Like we
Right.
tell you, go
Nobody else
out.
is giving him that. We the only team that could give him that.
Okay,
Nobody else
so,
is
But
giving him
I
that.
also feel
exactly.
like if you want him to be valuable in future trades, why wouldn't you pay him too, though?
Yeah, because he might.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying he might not be worth that type of money, and it might be harder if he don't live up to the contract. Then you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
yeah.
you just stuck. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
I look.
But I
What
would
I
bet
will
on him living
listen.
up to the contract personally.
Yeah, but no, but I'm going. Let's go back to what Jay was saying. You want to pay him so he could be an act, so he could fit a deal in the future. If you want to make that deal in the future, like like you're not gonna pay. The reason why Cam Thomas didn't get traded this whole time because he was only making $3 million, bro. Like, and we wasn't gonna get nobody back of that value for no $3 million.
Yeah,
So
bro.
if you up him up to like if you up him up to like 15 or $17 million, now you talking about a different scale of players. You know what I'm saying? Like now you talk like now like
Uh,
if you would want to trade.
can somebody real quick look up how much Kobe White is making?
Cam name been mentioned.
Kobe White,
Kobe White.
Teams wanted Cam since he was a rookie. They never put Cam on the trading block. But to y'all point as well, they never used him to the point where he had time to develop
Kobe
and
White is
show
making
out.
12 mil a
Right.
year, bro.
Right.
12
So
million. See?
he's in the middle. Like
Right.
they value him, but to
Right.
how much? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the
So
problem with Cam.
And
so
Kobe
ice.
White been getting lowballed by the Bulls, bro. Like his entire career. He in the same situation Cam Thomas in. The
But the
only
Bulls,
difference is he signed them qualifying offers. That's the
but
only difference.
Nah,
the
he was way
Bulls.
more. Kobe White was featured way more for the Bulls than Cam Thomas was for the Nets, bro. That was a big part of it
No,
too.
that's a very
Wait.
true point. Kobe wasn't, I think, an all-star a year or two ago,
But,
wasn't he?
but
Or like in that consideration? He was really
but the
good.
No,
but the Bulls are in a similar situation as the Nets. You keep on comparing it as the players. The
they've been
Bulls are in the
lowballing
same.
Kobe White for a minute.
But Kobe White, the time when he was being offered that contract, they would bring him off the bench and use him as a six man. So you kind of in a sort of the similar vein as Cam Thomas. What I'm saying is, you could debate on how much you think Kobe White is better than Cam Thomas or Cam Thomas is better than Kobe White. It doesn't matter right there. The thing is the impact and the value you have towards the team. The team looked at it and said, this guy's a six man. Now his role elevated. He performed better, but at the time they treated him as a six man. Look at that contract as a precedent. He getting 12 mil a year per year, right? So I look the Brooklyn. I just keep it a bean. The Brooklyn Nets don't value Cam Thomas the same way how the Chicago Bulls value Kobe White. So you have to
Very
go for a
true.
lower number than 12. Unfortunately, so
Damn.
if he's making 12, then most likely Cam Thomas might make somewhere between 6 to 10.
Now,
Damn.
I don't
That's
think. See,
brutal. That's brutal.
I don't think it's the Nets. I just think it's the basketball association don't value Cam like that.
Well,
Like they
yeah, you
might
know
be
what?
certain
I'll
teams.
say that. I'll say that. Ice. I'll say that.
I don't think it's that.
I'll say
I
that.
don't think it's that. I just think that most teams are already invested in a two guard. They starting two guard, and they're not going to pay a lot of money for two guard that they're going to bring off the bench because they're not going to put whoever they already got started and been invested in on the bench for him right now.
Basically.
Right. And they
Well,
took away
I'll
the
say this:
and
a
they
lot
took
of
away
teams'
the
cap
All
space
right,
are
basically
so that's
capped out
cool.
right
All
now.
right, so
A lot of teams are
hold on,
capped
hold
out
on.
right now. We
Right,
like
if
Cam
you
Thomas
say
looking
that,
for a contract at a bad time because a lot of teams use their cap space already real quick. But go ahead, Ice.
no,
Yeah, that's what
because
I'm saying.
no, I was
because
saying to Jay's point though, if you feel like that and you see that there's a guy that everyone thinks is better than they guy, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna move your player to get that guy. You would. So that tells you that Cam is not to like I said to the NBA. He's not as good as what we think he is to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Either the rest of the NBA gonna be wrong on Cam, or, you know what I'm saying, we gonna be right watching him play. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna be wrong.
no,
Either he
can I
is
say
a six man or he a legit two guard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Worth that
if
bad. He's
if he
gonna
was
be
on a
one or the other.
if he was on a good team right now, nobody would be complaining if he was giving you 20 points as a sixth man or fourth option. Nobody would be complaining. But being on a bad team, everybody is looking at him like under a microscope saying, no defense, no playmaking, no this, no that. We saw a little bit with the playmaking, but the problem is Sean Marks, by drafting all these point guards, you took away Cam's optionality to be a combo guard, to be a 1 and 2. Now he's essentially a catch and shoot guy where I don't want to pay a guy $30 million if he's just catching, shooting. He's doing it very efficiently, but that's the type of money you save for a 1 or 2 superstar on your team. And I think that's what the organization and the market are trying to tell Cam is like, we like you, but we're trying to put you in this position to where you're making said money. And Cam's like, I'm not playing that type of game. So there has to be some type of middle ground very, very soon, or else I don't see Cam being here long term. Just the way the body language and what ESPN is saying, like it doesn't seem like they want him to be that guy. They just want him to be a middle piece.
3 weeks ago, when I said I ain't want this to get messy, this is what I was talking about.
I
This
said
is
it
what
too,
he was
Jay.
talking
I said
about,
it too, Jay. I said it too, Jay.
When it gets messy, that's what makes people build resentment and be like,
Yep.
yo, first, as soon as I could get out this motherfucker, I'm getting out of here. Like,
Let me say
That's a
this.
and
fact.
build that.
Let me say this real quick, John. I disagree with one of your statements. So if Cam Thomas was on a good team and he was putting up 20 points a game, his value and his impact to win it in the team would be assessed different. So then his value would be different. So it's different. Like I said, on the bottom feeding teams, we gotta separate ourselves from like good teams, because good teams are giving out different contracts to different players. If you're a good player on the team, or if you impact in winning and you add in 20 points to the formula of winning, your value is different for that team. Meanwhile, us, we not doing too much winning. We trying to rebuild. And if anything, the times when he really like started or like had the ball in his hand, he really chucked it. So it's like impact and winning is kind of low. So I could mess around with your money right there. So like a good team is going to be different than a rebuilding team in terms of value and contract.
No, I agree with you, man. I think the unfortunate thing in the new CBA is a lot of restricted free agents. This might be your future. They might purposely try to, hold you back on the bench or lower your role just because they want to pay all these superstars, the money. But then you don't have that extra money now to spend unless you have cap space. So I feel bad for Cam Thomas. If he came to the NBA a few years earlier, I don't think there'd be as much of a discussion about it right now. But now with all these new penalties and aprons, Sean Marks is like, I don't want to be anywhere near the first apron until we have a Giannis or Joker on this team. And for Cam Thomas, that means I might have to just be on a bad team for 3 years and getting lowballed. That's a problem.
That's not Sean's fault. That's not his fault that the apron is designed that way. You got to remember the owners made the apron.
But
Ice,
Gilbert
your
talked
mic
about
is
it.
going in and out. Yeah, Ice, yeah, your mic is going in and out. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You good right now. You good right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so NBA players talked about this happening before. They thought that was happening to Jonathan Kuminga, and you see it happening to Cam. So it's not a recent thing. It's been going on for years, and it's just being, now that you seeing it, you like, oh, it's messed up. But them dudes been held back before. You know what I'm saying? A lot of NBA players been held back before because of contracts. I think Gilbert said that he been held back because of contract. They sat him down, didn't play him 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Limited minutes. So he don't get that contract, and they think Jonathan Kuminga is in the same situation. He asking for that much money, but he ain't get to show out. So you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get that contract.
Right.
It's not a new thing. It's an old thing.
Yep. It's been around. It's not a GM thing. It's an owner's thing. This is what the owners want. This is what the small market owners wanted.
Yeah, but
they wanted.
But the thing is, like, you didn't want to get to this point. Me and Jay was saying this weeks ago on Dizzy's show. You want to get the result first. If Cam Thomas at least somewhat a part of your future, that should have been one of the first things to get done. Now he's the last thing, or near the last thing to get done.
Yeah, but John, if I offer you a contract, you're going to take it.
About the team, you're going to keep your
yeah, but like I just said, the only thing Cam Thomas has leverage over Sean Marks, that Marks had no problem throwing bad contract money away at players that were limited too in skill set. Not as great as scores as Cam Thomas, but now it's like Cam has to follow that. Like, this Marks' problem. He has a bad pattern of deals that have not helped us, and players like Cam are going, you're lowballing me when I could give you easy 20 points like nothing. I can understand that from Cam. That's probably the only leverage Cam has over Marks, is the fact that Marks has a bad financial history of giving out outrageous contracts. That's probably the only leverage he's probably telling him right now, or his agency's telling him.
So right now, okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Easy.
Real quick, Scott. So I'll say this in the contract negotiation for Cam. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm saying for the most part, I will be thinking that Cam is coming to the table with the numbers he put up from this season and the season before. He using the numbers and the production he put up. That's his leverage right there, right now. The production he put out on the court.
Mm-hmm.
He don't got too much to him, but the production he put out on the court and where he could elevate. Unfortunately, for the contract that he going for, he didn't do too much before, and there's not too. And from the company, from the Nets organization standpoint, they might not be looking at too much upside for him. So that's why they could lowball him with this number. But if he did something impacting winning, then he probably had a better leverage in the negotiation. Well, I'm pretty sure he comes to the table with the production he put up. But go ahead, Scott. My fault.
No. I'm saying it comes right back to the whole idea of everybody wanted to tank. Remember, everybody was talking at the beginning of the year. Oh, we're gonna tank. I said Cam has got a contract. He don't want to tank.
Yeah, but if
everybody was talking about tanking.
Yeah, but if you trade away Cam Thomas, we are definitely tanking because you're not going to have anything. I'd be surprised if this team without Cam Thomas wins 9 games because you have nobody to create offense like that.
More than 9 games, John. We winning.
Nah, we winning more than 9 games.
But wait, if Cam is not on this team, who's carrying? Michael Porter is going to be the guy averaging 30, 40 points?
We was winning games with Cam Thomas out, though.
I mean, we was winning games. We won 26 games, bro, when Cam Thomas only played 25. So
yeah, but you had D'Lo and Johnson on this team, 2 veteran guys. You take that
barely
away,
played, bro. Come on, that don't count.
Oh, come on. When D'Lo in February was dishing out those assists,
he barely played. He barely
played. Game winner against the Rockets. What are you talking about?
Don't do that,
yeah, I understand that, but he barely played.
Come on.
Barely played. That's the truth.
He had a game winner. He had
barely played.
He had over 14 assists in the game.
He barely played.
He contributed to winning, though. He contributed to winning, though.
He did, but he barely played.
If he was not
contributed to winning, though, he won at least 2 games, nigga. He helped win the back-to-back
games
for the Rockets.
Off
rip, nigga.
He played 29 games, bro. Come on, bro. He barely played.
He had a mini month of February because he was playing those games. Leaf.
Was a D-Lo, though.
He barely played.
Man,
he was on a lone playmaker, Scott.
He barely played. That's the truth.
On that month. No, it's not the truth.
Yeah, when you have a guard that's competent, yes, you're going to win games.
Yes, he should have been bought out. If we weren't going to bring D'Lo back, you should have bought him out.
Games at the beginning of the year, y'all people were crying. Fans were crying. Oh, lose. This is what I heard. And I'm thinking Cam Thomas' money is getting cut because you saying lose.
What's getting cut even more is now the NBA don't want to pay him, and Sean Marks doesn't want to pay him. Never want to pay him. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Marks ever wanted to pay Cam Thomas if we're calling 100. I think Kevin Durant chose him. Look what Kevin Durant said on the podcast.
I said Kevin Durant chose him.
He was controlling that shit, bro. From the get-go,
I said that, and everybody was just like, nah, you got to give him Sean Marks credit for that. No, I don't. That wasn't his pick.
He told Marks, get Cam Thomas. That could be my 6th man right there. I see a mini Kyrie
for all we know, bro, they looked at that like they looking at Cam Thomas now, and all they see is, bro, fucking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Facts, man. Come on. As soon as they
that's all they see. That's all they see when they look at him and now, bro. Like they seeing the last stint of that, bro. How we know that? How we don't know that? Like I've been saying that, bro. Like these European players and all of these international players are here for a reason, bro. They trying to cut off the skin of what was left of what was left from the Kevin Durant era.
Right. Yeah, they take all the away.
Yeah, I agree with that, Lee. That's a different story, though. But that's the whole reason.
I think that shit is the story.
That's the story. You're right, Lee. That's the story.
I think they trying to cut off all of the skin that remains from the Kevin Durant era. They don't want that shit to be attached to them at all.
Right. They don't want to be paying these players $70 million. That's what it is. That's
not unless you have the main guy on the team, and there is no main guy right now.
No, you can't win a title with one player and just
no. But you need the focal point. Pacers and OKC are not in the finals without Shea or Tyrese. Respectfully,
that's how the owners see it. That's how the owner. If I was an owner, I'm being honest. Think about it. If I'm making money, I'm not trying to give away my money, man.
That's a fact.
What are you talking about?
I mean, and to go even deeper, bro. This goes back to what I was saying about possible multiple championship teams, bro. Like if you gonna build that, the way you gotta do it, you gotta build it the same. You gotta get lucky the same way the Warriors got lucky when they was paying
Simple.
when they first started winning championships when Steph was only making $11 million.
Right.
That's chicken
Exactly.
scratch.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, that's why he
Exactly.
botched this
That's
up
the
so
way you gotta
badly.
do it.
No, but this is why he botched his draft up so badly. Not getting a Fears, not even drafting a Maliwalker or a Senge. Now you don't want Cam Thomas. It's like this is why the decisions on draft night
Diaz
don't
was
add
off
up.
the board.
He's doing
No,
just
like
about
you
every other
could trade up
team's.
for him.
Yeah.
Marks had
No.
all the assets to trade up for one of those guys if he wanted to, but he didn't. And now you want to get Cam Thomas out the way because we have no real young talent at the point. We have guys who will play rotation pieces at the very worst. Like we're not even building anything at this point because it's so repetitive. A lot of guards, no center, no power forward, waiting for a superstar. This is the old playbook of 4 years ago. Nothing has
Man,
changed
Don't
with Sean Marks.
you better not see.
Respectfully,
You better
bro, we
not
don't
see
know what we
Claxton
got in
either
these
in the
5
eye.
picks, bro. Like, and I'm not finna paraphrase and go back and forth and tell what we got, what these 5 picks is. We don't know.
Yeah, we
You know,
don't know
bro. Like
that.
the thing is, bro. Like, how many teams is drafting for 5 first round picks, bro? Like, and then if you draft first 5 round picks and you don't
got
hit on none of
something.
them, bro. Like, yeah, you don't need to have a job ever in the
Right.
league
He
again.
shouldn't.
One of
He
them.
shouldn't
I ain't
be
gonna
the
lie.
One
You
GM
need
of
to,
them
my
now.
coming.
nigga. Like, you need to go to McDonald's and get a job. That's
Yeah,
what you
one of
need to
them
do,
coming
bro.
through.
Like, you
One
don't
of
need
them
to be
coming through.
associated with basketball ever again.
This
Yeah.
guy was riding the Spurs coattails, man, before he became a GM. Like, come on. Like, what did he
He,
do on the
bro,
Spurs to
of
win the
course he was
title?
riding the Spurs coattails. He was an intern. He had no job. A fucking intern, bro. Like, motherfucker
He
ain't had
brought
no
the
damn
coffee to
job.
Popovich. He brought the coffee to Popovich.
Yeah, he was in there to bring coffee for free, bro. Like, they paid him $20 every 2 weeks, man, like they do at Job Corps. Come on, bro, get out of here. He was an
Damn, nigga said
intern.
he was at Job Corps in the Spurs.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, if we don't land a top 5 prospect in next year's draft, we didn't land with this draft.
Ziggler's
That trade we
doing it
made with the
again,
Rockets.
John.
No, it's
Bro,
Scott.
get
Scott, hear me out, Scott.
your mind off of next year's draft. We're not
Stop.
landing
If
no
you
top
John
5
don't, so
is
wait,
doing
nothing.
it
if you don't land a
Y'all
again.
top
need to
5
get your mind
prospect,
off of that.
no,
He's
wait,
doing
let
We
me
are
it
finish.
not landing
again.
nothing in next year's draft.
Wait,
I'm not
if you
going
do
to
not
another
land a
300.
top 5
I'm
prospect
not
this
going
next
through
John.
another
this year and next year,
365
it
days
is one of the worst
of Nets
trades of
fans
all
telling me,
time.
bro, that we should land
John.
AJ DeBonsa or Cam Boozer, bro. And if we don't land one of them, it's a fail. Or Peterson,
It's a
it's a
huge
fail.
fail. We gave the Rockets free capital,
Then it's,
essentially. For
bro.
what?
We don't control that draft shit, bro. The NBA does. It's clear. They gave all of the fucking talent to the West. They gave all of the top talent in this draft to the West.
Hell, we
We
gave some
don't
of that
control
talent. We didn't
shit.
draft Mally Walker Fleming. We essentially
Oh
gave
my
the
god.
Suns Rasheer and Common for free,
Molly
man.
Walk is
We
a
didn't
Duke
draft him.
center, and he is in Phoenix, bro. He about to
Oh
become the
my
next
gosh. I don't know
Regina
why you don't
Beach.
like
Oh
Mally
my
Walk.
god, bro.
Yo, easy. Come
Stop
on,
with
man.
this
This guy does
Molly
not
Walk
like Nash
shit.
Spencer.
Molly
Come
Walk is
on.
not carrying
Okay,
nothing.
we're stuck with Claxton. We're stuck with Claxton. He gets cooked by Bismarck Biapo.
I
That's
want
better.
Claxton out of here. Me and you both on the same page. I want Claxton gone.
Well, we can't because all the other teams that want him are making moves, but Sean Mark keeps sitting on his ass with a thumb up it, man, not making moves.
Oh
Look,
Now we're stuck
wow.
with Claxton.
we got rid of
Yo, you are dealing
CJ.
with these metaphors.
We got rid
Real
of CJ,
graphic,
bro.
man.
We got rid of CJ,
We
bro.
got
Like
dope hoes. That's all. We got
Claxton
dope
is
hoes.
next, bro. That's all I'm gonna say
Who's
about that.
gonna want him? There's only one team, maybe the Hornets. That's it. Nobody else wants Claxton. Like everybody else has made moves.
We got rid of CJ to get CJ. Yo,
Yo,
We ain't get rid of CJ.
that's
Stop
crazy.
calling him that. He not that. That's
CJ
not
and
who he is.
Who,
they
That's
both
PJ?
not who he is.
crazy.
Stop.
Now we got
They
CJ for
same
PJ.
goddamn player, bro.
Yo.
Bro, we did not get rid of
Bro.
CJ for CJ. Stop that
Yes,
shit,
we
bro.
did,
Like,
Yes, we
bro.
did. We
that's
got
not
rid
the
of
Yeah.
same
CJ for
player,
PJ,
bro.
nigga.
Y'all keep looking
CJ,
at
PJ,
stats.
same nigga.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it ain't. That's not the same player, bro. I'm telling you, it ain't. He
Nah,
don't got
one
the.
of them just cost 40 million more.
It is
CJ don't
not the
got the
same
same
player.
athleticism as this nigga, bro. He don't got the same bounce as him. He don't got nothing that he got but his shot.
Yo, when the season starts, my nigga, you gonna see why we saying he not the same player, my nigga. You gonna see it.
Exactly what I'm
You gonna
telling
see it.
niggas. You gonna see exactly why. You
Same
gonna see
nigga, man.
exactly why CJ and MPJ is different niggas.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you a
Same nigga,
question,
man.
right?
Ice Cold.
Is he gonna spot up and shoot threes? Is he gonna come off curl and shoot
That's
threes?
all he do is spot up and shoot threes.
Nah, I
Alright.
seen him catch a couple slashing dunks just like CJ.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you
Saying
right
run
now.
to the rim
I ain't never,
straight
That's
up.
I
my
ain't
that's
never
my
seen
that's
You
my
CJ
understand
whole
what
catch.
I'm saying,
I
Scott?
have
that's my
never
whole
seen
point.
CJ catch a putback in this league ever.
What?
I
All
have
he do
never seen CJ catch a putback dunk in this league ever.
he pro-
But I
He
seen
caught
that
one.
shit from MPJ.
He caught one last year.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, he
Call
did
one.
one time.
I'm just saying, CJ, MPJ,
But
same
that's
shit,
not his
man.
game. It's not his
Hey,
game.
that $40 million expiring contract is the most valuable part of that whole deal. That could help us get something if Marks uses it wisely.
No,
Like
no,
that
no,
could be
See,
John.
cap
there you
That
space,
go
collective
again,
2031.
barter.
Sean. Why do
What's
you
that?
got
The
against
2032
Sean
pick?
Marks,
That's
man?
real valuable right there. That
1 minute
Yeah,
you hate
2032
listen,
him.
pick.
Yo, turn
I
your
will
mic
give.
up, Scott.
Huh?
Scott, I will
Turn
give
your mic
Mark
up,
some
bro.
credit when it's
Oh.
justified, but I'm not going to give him credit for leading us down a desert the last 9 years. I'm not giving him credit for that. Now this Cam Thomas stuff is even more lack of clarity. My problem with this organization is every time we expect clarity, draft lottery, this draft, we're not getting it. Summer League, not getting it. Cam Thomas, we're not getting it. Like all this should have been done already, and now we're
Scott,
probably waiting till August
Yeah.
for it to be
Yeah.
done.
Go ahead.
let me say this. So Scott, you got to feel John at some point, right? So like Sean Marks is doing everything he can, but look, I can't give you credit for putting out the fire to the
Mhm.
house that you started. You know what I'm
Oh
Yep.
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I'm not saying that
so
he
like
hasn't
yeah,
made mistakes. He
you put
made
up.
mistakes.
No, you made mistakes, but we gotta take it into, like I said on the last night's stream, we gotta make sure we put everything in contextual view.
Mm-hmm.
Every fire is not built the same. The fire
Mm.
that you started off rip, that should have immediately chopped you
But they
from the
all get
minute.
extinguished the same.
Not necessarily, but the fire that you started right from the minute you decided to trade KD, you it is feasible that you should have been chopped from that moment. We decided to keep you to clean up the mess and probably make a bigger a better project than the mess that you made. But at the end of the day, you got to feel where certain people coming from. The mistakes you've made,
Yo,
some GMs get chopped for it.
Easy, yo, I gotta end the show. I gotta say, hold on. I gotta end the show. I gotta say, Nets fans is the best fans, but easy. Before we go, you said NSB is back. What's that about? Bro? Talk to me about that. What's going on?
Yo, follow a nigga on TikTok, man. Let me find my TikTok. I'm bringing NSB back, man. We gonna hit TikTok first,
Okay.
then we gonna make our way right back to YouTube, man. Cause niggas is playing, but make sure you know I'm bringing the heat back, man. I'm bringing the heat back, man. I'm gonna try to bring the heat back, man.
All
Hold on.
right, let's go.
Yo,
Shout
I'm
out to
tapped
you,
in.
Ease.
I'm tapped in. I'm gonna be back later, y'all. I gotta, know what I mean, maneuver. But yo, man, shout to the Nets fans. We the best fans. Shout to District JCB, Scott, everything Brooklyn Nets, John, Easy, Ice, Elite, Dante, everybody that was on the panel, the fans in the chat. Hey, what's up, Brandon? we gonna be back real soon, and yeah, I'm a little mad that I didn't get a chance to clip up the episode. But watch the whole thing. These shows be good enough to watch the whole entire podcast. But I try to get y'all short clips. But again, we be back real soon with more content. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace, y'all.